All right. Travel plans.
Did you actually do research for this episode?
I did.
Holy shit. Go. Right on.
Oh. This one time.
So, this one time.
This one time?
You know what? This one time.
This one time.
Oh my God, this one time?
The podcast.
We have an email from Angela from Australia this week. She says, I was reading an article about passports not being considered valid if they are within half a year of expiring. What else should people watch out for? Do you have any personal stories? That's a great question, Angela. And thanks for asking. I'm Sheila D.
And I am Evo Terra. We are Shivo, and you are listening once again to This One Time, the podcast. Don't try to leave the country. You probably can't leave the country if you have less than 6 months on your passport. Also, don't try to leave the country if you are carrying illegal substances. That's a major no-no.
Well, yeah.
Don't try and fly into a country. Don't bring drugs with you to a country. You want to get them when you get to that country. There'll be a booth.
Wait. You were not advocating doing drugs and illegal items.
Of course not. I'm doing legal drugs when you get there. They might be illegal to travel with. She's asking for what not to do before you travel. Don't
Can I give some better advice?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So with the 6 months expiring, also you have to have a couple blank pages.
Wait a minute. Can you back that up a little bit and be more specific? Because I was just talking about drugs, and you're talking about specifically what?
The passport.
The passport, okay.
Some countries require one extra page in the passport, some two.
Why is that? Do you know why they have a preference for how many blank pages are in your passport?
Doesn't say, but I have a feeling that it has to do with like extra stamps and things like that, because you've seen it. Like we have tons of stamps all over our passport, and they're never in any certain order.
Well, here's the challenge. You have the country issue, and then you have the immigration officer issue.
Right.
So the country issue is that some places like Cambodia, for example, Vietnam,
yes,
for example, and even Thailand, if you get an actual to goodness visa and not just a stamp, that visa will take up an entire page of your passport. Whole stinking thing. So they need that page to put the visa itself on, the big sticker that covers a page. And then on the back of it, they will then stamp sometimes in and back out with individual small stamps, of which you could easily fit 4 stamps on a page if you wanted to. But that brings me to the second problem. The immigration officers, who seem to not realize that you are doing this thing called traveling to lots of countries. And so for many an immigration officer, they will just grab your passport, open it to a random blank page. Now, maybe they have gone through and checked to see if you have entry stamps coming into this country, like Thailand. They're beginning to crack down on people who have multiple tourist entry stamps coming in. But once they've ascertained that you are not trying to enter the country illegally or too many times or in violation of some other rule, they will then flip to sometimes 3-4 pages back, and right smack dab in the middle of blankness on either side, just that's where they put your entry stamp. Totally screwing you from having a nice, orderly passport, and also screwing you out of being able to go to various places because they have just soiled an entire page that no one else can now use.
But some of the countries do actually use multiple, they'll stamp multiples on a page, but that's rare. Like usually it's one stamp per page.
Yes, one country per page.
Right.
Yes, yeah. But you're right, they don't like to share.
Right.
Thailand doesn't like to share.
No.
I think it has to do with the country you're going to. I think that countries that have lots of border traffic, like, well, I won't say the EU any longer because now it's Schengen area.
Right.
But some of the places in the Caribbean and other spots will they know that people have limited resources in these books. But a lot of Southeast Asian countries, it doesn't seem to matter. They don't really care.
No.
About that. Okay, so that's the passport stuff.
So more on the passport stuff. You have
morons and passports.
I did not say morons.
Sorry.
So some countries require visas. As
Yes.
you found out just recently when I didn't deal with your travelings to Australia.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things. Angela, you're from Australia, so like us Americans, you have a passport that lets you into lots of different countries with the least amount of hassle.
Right.
There are certain countries, if you are a citizen of that country, you are a passport holder, you are not afforded the privileges of those of us that are in America and the EU and other countries. England has a great one as
Right.
well. So being Australian, you may be tempted just to hop on a plane and travel places without having to go through the visa application process. Like, for example, you being an Australian, Angela, you can just show up in Thailand just as an American can just show up in Thailand, passport in hand, and you will be granted not a visa, not even a visa on arrival,
Right.
but what they call visa exempt. You get a 30-day tourist quote-unquote visa. It's not really a visa, exemption that lets you stay in the country for 30 days.
Right.
Now, as Americans, we have that exact same thing.
Yeah.
But when we travel to places like Vietnam or Cambodia, we need to get a visa on arrival. Is that right? We have to do the visa on arrival?
Well, the two countries are different. So
Oh.
Vietnam, you have to go through and get that. You get it pre-approved and all of that. Once you arrive, that's when they stick it in.
Yeah.
But you have to go through a pretty lengthy process for Vietnam.
Sure.
But Cambodia, you don't do anything prior to arrival.
I
You
see.
just get it right then and there.
So just to clarify what we're talking about here, so they're both visa on arrival schemes, but the Vietnam one requires work ahead of time.
Right.
The visa on arrival in Cambodia for Americans is you must go get a visa upon arrival. No early work
Right.
done for that whatsoever. But then there are some countries where you show up none at all.
Right.
Excellent. That's wonderful. I thought going to Australia was like going to Canada or like going to the Schengen area, which is most of the European countries, where being an American with my easy access passport, I just show up and they let me in for, I believe in Australia, I have 60 days is the time frame.
90 days.
90 days I can stay there. Because again, we're English speaking. This is the way that it works. It's the way it's every other English country or English speaking country. Not so much.
Well, and I'm the one who normally deals with all of that.
So I can blame you.
No, you were the traveler singly alone. You have to take care of your own. I am not your travel agent when I'm not doing that stuff.
So here's the short version. I show up at the airport like at 10 o'clock at night for a midnight flight to Australia, and the gate agent informs me I do not have a visa which will enable me to go to Australia, to which I adamantly I state, profess my greater knowledge of passport regulations than this young girl, demand entry. Now, on the backside is I was supposed to apply for this damn thing, and it cost $20 US to get an entry to go to Australia. I had not done it because I was convinced I did not need to do it. However, just to get me out of there, they thank you, Thai Airlines, for paying my $20 fee and getting my visa for me. It was so awesome.
I think they were just tired of you ranting at them, and they're like, if we tell him no and you have to go do this, oh my God, what is he going to do then?
Exactly right. Once again, membership has its privileges.
Okay, on to another topic. So some of the other things that are required, various countries require certain amounts of funds.
Oh, right.
And we're seeing that here in Thailand unofficially.
Yeah. Even if you're traveling on a tourist visa, especially if you're traveling on a tourist
Right.
visa, I believe, they being various immigration officials, whenever they get all willy-nilly about it, want to verify that you have adequate funds to cover your trip.
Right.
And what's been happening here in Thailand is they don't want to see your bank accounts, which people can print out bank accounts. You can pull up your app for your bank on your phone and show how much money you have in the
Yeah.
bank. That may seem strange to do that for an immigration official, and I would agree. But in Thailand, as of recently, they're not even letting you do that. They want to see cash in hand.
Which, how would you do that? How would you have, because the amount is 20,000 baht, which is what, 500?
800.
Yeah. Who carries $800 cash and in the currency?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In Thai baht. You don't, not U.S. dollars, because they won't take that
Right.
here, and they're not going to try and convert that. So, yeah, be careful, I
Yeah.
guess, that, the place you're going to hasn't been doing weird stuff like that, and just kind of roll with the punches if it does. Chances are you will be allowed in, but it may take some extra work and doings
Right.
to prove your financial, what's the word I'm looking for, solvency. To make it happen, or just carry fat stacks of cash or drugs. No, wait, I said earlier, don't carry the drugs, so that you can't. That's not liquid assets. Yeah.
All right. Travel plans.
Did you actually do research for this episode?
I did.
Holy shit! Go right on.
These are the things I knew. I just didn't have them listed out. Like, I have them written down
That's wonderful. Why didn't you do that for me when I went to Australia?
because I wasn't traveling.
Got
I'm
it.
not your travel agent.
Please continue.
Travel plans. Some countries want your outbound travel plans.
Oh, right. Proof of forward, something like that.
Forward travel.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I knew I was
Forward
close.
travel.
Proof of forward travel. Right.
So, but what's interesting is the year that you and I traveled,
Yes.
we never had that when we entered a country.
Yeah, I think it's one of these. The law says you must have these things, but like anywhere, enforcement is going to
Depend
vary.
on, yeah.
So you're at the whim of luck. You're at the
Right.
whim of. I honestly think how you look has a lot to do with it.
maybe.
How you act has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, because we haven't been hassled at all.
There's actually a survey. No, you're right. We have not been hassled at all.
We've
to
been
finish
very
that.
lucky.
Have I ever? Yeah, even when you tried to bring burglary tools
Into Australia.
into Australia and they didn't throw you in jail, they should have, because you clearly went there to commit a crime.
I did not.
But they don't do that. But yes, getting on the whole proof of forward travel, there are services that you can utilize that will book a ticket for you,
Right.
and then turn around and cancel that ticket for you just so that you have this. But to me, that's dumb.
I would just buy like a first class ticket somewhere, fully refundable ticket.
Exactly.
Right there on the spot. I'm good.
That's the trick. If they say sorry, unless you have a ticket, say hold on, pull out your app,
Yeah.
book that, make sure it is fully refundable. Book a first class ticket. Yeah, your bank account's going to take an
bit of a hit,
authorization on
right.
it temporarily, but you're going to turn around and cancel that ticket right away. And if you want to be even smarter about it, then use that first class ticket. Get to the airport like 4 hours early on the day you're supposed to travel. Go hang out in the lounge, drink all the free booze and eat the free food, and then cancel your ticket from inside the lounge. Now that is travel hacking to the nth degree.
We have not ever done that, nor shall we ever do that.
I am going to try it to see what happens. Makes for an interesting content to see what happens.
Vaccines.
Vaccines.
Yeah, some places require certain vaccines. So, like, I've seen like yellow fever. There's another one that I think that's pretty prevalent in.
Yellow Fever was that terrible Asian exploitation movie from the 70s spin-off.
Stop.
No?
Stop. No,
right.
no. We'll move on from that.
We've not been asked for vaccines. I think you're typically on the vaccines that I have seen is that it's traveling to places like or from places like if you've traveled from Sierra Leone.
Right.
There are a lot of countries that will not let you in to their country if you have been to some of these places where these things these diseases are prevalent. Perhaps with inoculation records could be better for that, but I don't know. But definitely check to find that if you should get them before you travel. But more importantly, leaving that country, is it going to cause you any challenges getting somewhere
Malaria
else?
is the one I was thinking of. Malaria is one that I see sometimes.
Really bad in Malaysia, which is the national disease.
Also,
Malaysia.
you should know how long you can stay somewhere.
Well, yeah.
But sometimes that gets tricky. Like when we were in the EU
Oh, Schengen area, yeah.
and we had to have a spreadsheet.
Right, yeah.
Because we were popping in and out and you could only do so many days within so many days.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like a shot clock. It's the way I do it. It's like a shot clock. So in Schengen area at the time, at least, we were allowed to stay up to 90 days within 120-day period. 180 day period, yeah. And so 90 within 180, which really hurt our heads as figuring this out because we knew we were popping out of Schengen and coming back in. So, yeah, you need to track all of these. Wouldn't it be great if there was an app that said, oh, here's who you are. Here's the passport you're coming into. Here is we're going to totally make this app. So it just keeps you up to date, like sends you a text alert every day that says you can stay for 5 more days.
That's a brilliant idea.
Son of a bitch, I'm not putting this in the show because I'm going to go build it and make $1 billion.
Somebody's already building it now based on what you just said.
Bastards.
Well, that's all that I have.
Oh my God, that's a long show. Hopefully you got everything you wanted out of that, Angela. Thanks very much. And if you would like for us to answer your question, you can do it. You can do what Angela did, and you can email us. That's easy way. Or if you want to do it the even better way, thank you, Angela. But the even better way would be to go to shivo.wtf/call us and leave us a voicemail. It's easy to do from your computer, from your laptop, from your mobile device, shivo.wtf/call us. And we'll get your question played on the show with a fun-filled, sometimes oddly, useful answer like this week. What the hell's wrong with me? Good job, honey.
Our show this one time would not be possible without support from people like you. If you think our show is worthy of your financial support, Patreon makes it very easy.
We'd love to have you helping us keep the show running over on patreon.com. Go to shivo.wtf/Patreon and get signed up today. Bonus content, early episodes, that's pretty cool swag. shivo.wtf/Patreon.
Our music is by Valea Valea.
Thanks for listening, listener. I am Evo Terra.
And I'm Sheila D.
For more life lessons and cool travel advice, I guess, well, that's what we'll do again next week. But please call in. Would you do that? Appreciate it. Cheers.